introduce yourselves.
light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
Hey, are we all on?
Yeah.
This is what we're going to go ahead. Okay. All right. So, welcome you all to Fli-City Blackout. We are here celebrating Juneteenth. This is the month of June. This is our Freedom Day. This is a historical moment for all African American white people across the world. Of course, mainly here in the United States of America. And this will declare our day of freedom for enslaved African Americans. So I am here with our special group. We have the Southside City of Hope. We'll be having their function on that's Thursday, June 13th, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hope Renewed Juneteenth celebration. And I have a plethora of wonderful guests here today that'll be talking about it, representatives from the group. And then we also have Mr. Fred Safford, who is, I want to say, the executive director, if I'm correct, of the Traveling Black Museum. So at this time, let's go around and do a round of introductions. And please introduce yourself to the public.
Okay, I'll start. Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Thompson.
Well, I'll start us off. My name is Monica Robinson, Fli-City of Hope. I'm also an educator in the area, and we're here to celebrate Juneteenth, 13th of January. June. A couple of that's just Thursday. It's going to be at Brennan Center, 1301 Pingree. And I'm going to leave it at that and let everybody else continue to chime in and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Derek Nolan, president of Southside City of Hope. Thanks for the opportunity to join in on this podcast, and we are looking forward to a great event on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Thompson. Born and raised in Flint, retired, and working with the Southside City of Hope.
Hi, I'm Laura Wade, still on the committee of City of Hope, and looking forward to. Thanks for having us on.
Hello, my name is Fred Safford, and I'm the founder of the True Black History Museum. So it's the True Black History Museum, and essentially we're a traveling museum. We travel the country and we teach Black history through the use of artifacts. We're excited about being a part of this occasion on Thursday, celebrating Juneteenth with my Flint family. We're looking forward to a dynamic presentation of Black history and culture.
So I do want to make sure. So I do, and when we introducing, it's very important. I know Mother Deloney always told us the importance of getting everybody's name and titles correct. So I thank you for giving us that information, Mr. Sappho, who is the founder of the Traveling Black Museum.
True Black History Museum. True Black History Museum.
Let's make a put up one of that. True Black History Museum. And did this originate from you? And you're from Detroit.
Well, that's a long story. We could take up the whole podcast where I'm from, but you asked. I mean, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I moved to Flint, Michigan in 1984. I lived in Flint for a few years, and I've been in Detroit pretty much my entire adult life. But I did live in Flint from like 84 to like 1986. My parents lived there for the remainder of their lives. So I've got some Flint ties and connections. And I think the secondary part of your question was, how did the museum start? Is that it?
Yes. Tell us how did it start?
Yeah. So both my parents grew up in the Jim Crow South, as many people parents did. I have a good buddy who has a traveling museum. And as a token of appreciation for me getting him an event at my kids' school when they were kids, he brought his museum. As a token of appreciation, he gave me an artifact. And that was a eulogy to Dr. King's funeral.
Okay.
And that was maybe 2005, 2006, and I really just got the bug. Then we just, I just became infatuated with collecting Black history and culture. Primarily, it was for self-edification, to learn more about it, and then we were able to begin to educate with that and travel the country to schools, colleges, corporate events, community events like this one. It's been a wonderful journey.
I think when you're talking about it, that kind of really sparked, right, your love for artifacts, right, and then also history and research. That is something that, far too often, people get passed down information, or they find something that they find interesting, so they take it a step further by, digging deep, right? And I think that's important. I'm glad, actually, we are all glad, right, that you found the joy and the love of understanding the history of what we have contributed to civilization. I think that's remarkable. And so that is what, what we talk about Juneteenth. Juneteenth is all about education. And you have all these different facets of education. And so when you're talking about the historical value of it, those are what we are trying to pass down to young people. And I always say this, as Mother Deloney was very big on history, but we would have never known about folks like Dr. E. Hill Deloney or Harriet Tubman or Malcolm X if we never captured their story. So I think that is the most phenomenal thing about it, because we keep their spirits alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, like I said, we get a chance to travel the country. And before we had brick and mortar museums and buildings, history was passed down through oral history, right? Through oration. People would speak to the elders. The elders would tell them the different traditions and things that they should remember. So we kind of a throwback to that. And it's unique in the sense that we give you intimate access to the artifacts. When you go to a brick and mortar museum, the artifacts will be, behind in closed cases. But when we come in, I mean, you pretty much get intimate access to these artifacts. We'll have artifacts from the 1600s all the way to the modern day. We're very intentional on bringing artifacts from Africa, because we want people to understand that Black people have a history that predates 1619, right? That predates slavery. That wasn't rooted in savagery, but in royalty and accomplishment, and we show that, and we go all the way up to the modern day. So it'll be an immersive experience.
Yes, man, I'm excited. I am definitely much excited about just seeing artifacts, but then also hearing the presentation. And I'm going to look forward to it. It's going to be a very long day. We'll be getting going. For those who are looking and interested to join us, we'll be this Thursday, June 13th, at the Brennan Senior Center, located on 1301 Pingree Avenue in Flint, Michigan. So you will have a chance to view some of the artifacts. You'll be able to get in contact and connect with Southside City of Hope. You'll be able to practice and engage into the unity that we possess that in this community of Flint that's so needed right now. So I'm just looking forward to all the things that's going to take place. So Southside City of Hope, tell us some of the things that our public will have the opportunity to look forward to.
It looks like it's me and Laura. Laura, go ahead. Looks like we got kind of fell off for a minute due to technical difficulties. So Laura, go ahead.
Did you, Monica? Did you tell me to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, because I'm hearing a little back. I wasn't sure if you said my no. So, yeah. So Southside City of Hope is going to have a lot of things going on today. We're going to have some of the steppers from different organizations, from the Deltas, the Qs. We're also going to have some spoken word. We're going to have Mama Soul there, who's going to be singing. We're also going to have a DJ there for our festivities. We're going to have Fred there with, well, displaying his artifacts. And we're going to also have some poetry on that day. Also, some free food and drink for the people. We'll have some free food and drink. So it's going to be a pretty day, but a day that people will enjoy.
Wow.
I think the Deltas confirmed that they might not be able to make it, but definitely going to have the and the Omegas that's coming. We had a slight change in the schedule. We're still going to have some excellent festivities as it relates to the Omegas. And what I love is the fact that we're going to be able to heritage. That's really important. A lot of people hear about the most common, but we forget about people like Alexander Miles, who created the elevator doors. We forget about Aaron Morgan, every stop traffic light. He's the one that created the. I need to turn that off. But anyway, let me turn that off. Forgive me. He created the traffic light, and then we have Alexander Miles, and the list goes on, who created the light bulb, the things that we use on a daily basis. And then we got Mark Dean. You know, we use it every day. He created the monitor, the PC. That, you know, so there's a list. This goes on and on and on. And these are African. I love Black History Month. You know, I teach it, and I have Black History Month. I'm an educator, so that's my favorite time of year. Although we celebrate 165 days a year, so the fact that Southside Hope can come and help celebrate Juneteenth and hear what's going on is phenomenal. I'm just excited to be a part.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah,
And
it's definitely
hope. I wanted us to talk about how, you know, we haven't been in existence. We got quite a few people that's a part of our organization. It's a nonprofit. Lord, you enlighten us a bit on the itself, on how we got started and what we're about.
You're going out every word. Did you tell me to our organization?
Yes. Is it hard to hear me?
Yeah,
No.
I think
Go ahead.
it might be the Wi-Fi's. Check the connections because we all looking good, but just want to make sure that everyone is hearing the content.
I don't know. Can you guys hear it? It could be just me. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah, it's kind of there's a little light chop in it.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Well, I'm hearing some chopping too. I don't know where it's coming from.
Is it the same when I speak also? Am I choppy also?
No.
No, you're clear. Am I how do I sound?
Sound good.
Am
Yeah,
I?
but just to if I could piggyback off the sister who the educator, and man, we work with educators. I tell you what, we do about 90% of our work in college campuses right now and corporate events, but I always have a special place in my heart for the kids, K-12, when we get to these schools and kids see value. They see that they have more value than being a basketball player or a rapper, that Black people have been innovators and a part of every important moment that this country has to celebrate. And that's what we come to do, to motivate, inspire, help people understand that Black people have value and made significant contributions to humanity. And I want to get on the record that I'm thankful to the Southside City of Hope Southside City of Hope for bringing us out to celebrate. We haven't been a stranger to Flint. We've worked with the Mount Foundation. We work with other organizations who brought us up to schools and other events to celebrate Black history and culture. And we're humbled and thankful for that opportunity. And for your listeners who are on the fence about going in, some of the greats that you mentioned, some of the greats that the educator mentioned. I mean, I don't like to get into specifics, but they're going to see some things that they've never seen before. Most cities in America don't have Black history museums, and we go into those places, and we're very intentional on disrupting that space. Whatever space you designate for us, whatever it was yesterday, we're not concerned about that. But the day that we're there, it's going to be the true Black History Museum, and it's going to be a sacred place. We're going to honor, respect our ancestors and Black history and culture. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And we're going to take time out to come. Just a little bit of background about Southside City of Hope. All of us are Flint alumni of Stewart School. That's where most of us all met. We wanted to go back into the community to give back. Giving back was created nonprofit of us who know what it was and want to try and bring that back to build a system, which is why we are all about community. Anytime something we're trying to be out in the community, and it's not just the side, but for right now, we've been focusing on that because we are all school alumni. Want to try and turn into something as a hope for the people still there and those that come up after us. Going to try and turn that into a community center. That's our main goal. Bring back that sense of community because it's lost and it's not as prevalent as we remember it growing up. That's kind of how we all formed. We all have come back together. We all have gone off to things we felt like were very good things and become established members of our community. And now we just want to give back. So again, we're very grateful for bringing that to the people who have probably not had the opportunity to get. And I fantastic for the youth to learn as much as they can about the history.
Amen.
I think that is brilliant. See, I grew up in the neighborhood of the Brennan Center. I know as youth we used to run around and be on Pingree and get to play basketball in there, and they had different programs taking place, and we were able to kind of, I guess, use our time to do something constructive versus just sitting on idle time. And a lot of times these young people, they want to do something. They got all the energy to do something.
Yes.
It's up to them to be able to have the foundation and those structures in place for them to be able to gain knowledge, intuition, to be able to gain the skill, right? Those things are setting them up to be competitive in this world. So always it's about even us, even young people. And we got to talk about our history. We got to talk about us. Like, and it's nothing to be shy about. Like, we are not inferior people. We should be very proud of the skin we're in. And if we talk about some of the, I guess, the prolific figures that's been of the past, some of the major contributions to civilization that we have been a part of for the development of this country, right? It makes them feel a certain type of way. I know when I was told about some of the things that we've done, it made me feel good about being Black. And then you start reading about these people that, paid the ultimate sacrifice. It's like, nah, you know what? We all have to step up. We all have to go ahead and be about moving forward. We all have to talk about advancement. We all play a part in this. It's not just waiting on the sideline for people to get some stuff together. When we see some things taking place, we have to roll our sleeve up and get engaged. So that is the thing that we want, from our younger people that's coming up. So then that way they're not just seeing what they see on TV or on TikTok, but they are a part of it through presentations and being mentored by folks like yourselves. And that's what's going to change the game for us. Right? And so that's something that we are, interested in. I'm loving that, we are talking about putting this out for the young people. I'm loving it, even some are grown, adults. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people may not have been privy to Juneteenth until probably like the last couple of years. It's no fault of their own, right? Sometimes you're just not privy to the information. And so we have to do our due diligence in putting that history out there.
100% correct. Couldn't
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm. And I always want to give big reverence to Dr. E. Hill Deloney, who is our
Yeah.
founder of the traditional Flint Juneteenth. This is
Yeah.
our 50th year that we're celebrating. This is 52 years. They
Yeah.
said people are like, you've been around here for 52 years. Yeah, we've been around here for 52 years. This is well before I was born, well before a lot of people have, even known that this was going on in the city. And
Yeah.
they would do it for 3 days. Here we are doing it for almost 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
that's a tribute to the work that and the foundations and the pathways that they laid for us to be able to pick up the mantle and continue going further.
Yes.
Next year, we should be looking at doing this for the whole month of June. We
Right.
should be looking at how we tying this in throughout the rest of the year. Like I know our spirits are high during the month of June because we unified, we coming together, we doing activities, we're engaging. It's like a big family reunion for the whole month. But
Yeah.
how do we transition that energy throughout the rest of this year, right? So that we're locked in and we continue to keep raising the emphasis on this history. And
Yeah.
then also we're doing different events to continue to uplift the people in our local communities, not just Flint, but all around the country. Those are
Yeah.
the things that we look to kind of, I guess, bake in too with Juneteenth, what we're doing for the month of June. But we're doing year round.
Yes.
We
Yes.
should be
That's
building up like freedom schools and education centers.
yeah.
I was in a conversation with, some parents. They were saying that they're not appreciative of the subpar education their children are getting. I'll just be frank. And so then that's our duty, right? To be able to have these infrastructures where we have educational centers, freedom schools, right, where they learn about these histories and we build our own curriculum and we make sure that we set our children up for today.
Yes.
That's our responsibility.
It
We
is.
can't we can't send it to the oppressor and expect, for us to get the best results. So,
You are
Yes. Yes. You were talking about 2 years. I think about how that's a half a century. 52
right,
years is half, it's about a half a century, which is 100
that's right,
years.
that's right.
Then you were talking about skills. That's the thing that you want to supplement part of the school system. Some things that we're doing in City of Hope is literacy, financial literacy, reading, technology,
Yeah,
health related to emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and social.
yeah,
Southside
yeah,
City focusing on life skills, re-entry program,
Yep.
employment,
yeah,
private education, affordable housing. That's very important. We want homes, not just be renters. Vocational
yeah,
education where they can get electrical, welding, art, culinary arts, and become barbers and cosmetologists. Let's go on and on. That's some of the skills that we're talking about as an organization. But we love partnering with people like my El Deloney, Mama Deloney. She did some phenomenal. Started some school. She was the fourth on starting programs and organizations like we learned from her. I'm just glad because she taught me a lot of things to carry on legacy.
that's right,
And we're
that's
going
right.
to tribute to her on that day as well.
Come on now, come on now,
Yeah,
come on
tribute
now.
plan for her. So
And,
gonna
and,
be-
and, and she deserves all the credit.
she does
Mhm.
100%.
One thing that I really appreciate and respect about her, she was a selfless person. I mean, like she always was doing for others. You
Yeah.
don't find a lot of times a lot of people that go out their way to do for everybody else, right? You know, if she
Mhm.
had a die, she would give up the whole thing. And I think that speaks to the spirit of what she is and who she was, right? And
Yeah.
so, you know, even how she dealt with people, like even when she dealt with people, you know, she used to always tell me, like, you know what, you have to have respect for all human beings. You gotta have respect, even if you don't like them, right? You know, and I used to be upset about some different stuff and different people and having my wars with things, and she would always try to talk to me and tell me about, you know, okay, well, you know what, that's true. You may not, you always respect a person, but you may not respect their actions, and so that's a big difference. And so I really, you know, been really listening to a lot of things and kind of just digging back to all the stuff that she was instilling in.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just something that I can always cherish for life because that's what made me a better person. Made me how, you know, I'm even operating in today's time is because of what she instilled and what she worked on.
You're
And
right.
just look at her as a model.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, you know, if you didn't know, she passed away on March 7th. She had a stroke, and unfortunately, she never made it out the hospital. And during that whole time while she was in the hospital, she was still talking about things that she had to get done for Juneteenth and things that she had to do for the research projects. She was still talking about and following up on different things that she had to get done while she was on her deathbed. And I
Mm.
said, you know what? And I would tell her, like, you know, those things gonna be there. I think first and foremost, like she used to always tell us, the first part of being active as a leader in position is you have to be there. And so, you know, you know, we gonna always cherish and you know, I appreciate, you know, everything that you know she was a part of and what she represented, and that is the motivation to continue to keep moving forward. That is what inspires us to continue to do the work. When I was in when I was in Egypt in 2017, we was in Egypt together, and you know, when you look at the temples in Egypt, you look at the temples of King Ramesses, you look at the temple of kings that you know played a part in the past. What happened was when they come into power, they build up on these structures, right? So they build these temples, um, and they build them as long as they're in power. But then, you know, when they fall, whoever is next in succession, they build on top of that structure, right? So that is how we kind of look at it, even when we talk about Juneteenth. It's 52 years of doing this, right? So now it's up to us, right, to build out the next 50 years.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for us to sit down and be like, you know, well, we didn't did our job, we didn't put in the work. We're gonna expect the next generation to build on top of that. I think that's how you keep those things in place.
100% passing it on. That's the only way the knowledge passed on and gets dropped is from one person. Um, uh, Miss Tony passed, Dr. Tony passed it to you. You're passing it to the next generation, as are we to our kids, our grandkids, and to keep it going. That
Yes, ma'am.
if we don't, it will die.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it'll die.
And even she didn't want to take any pictures, anything like that. And I just
Yeah.
talked to her about like, you know, it's important because, you know, you want to make sure that we capture these moments and then you want folks to have something to, you know, reference. And
Yes.
so you know, later on in life she started, you know, being more, you know, photogenic. I think, you know, that was pretty nice. She was doing interviews and stuff like that. Normally she just gonna send me or tell me to go do it. But I would emphasize I'm saying, like, you know what, yeah, he really came to talk to you. I think you
Yeah.
know you really want to make sure that you know they hear from you straight from the source.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna back it up, you know. But you know, that was just some big shoes to fill, and you know, I think you know nobody can do it better than her.
Yeah. But you do it. Don't discount what you do. You do got it out
Yeah.
there. You learned from her, and she passed it on very well to you. You're gonna be passing it on. You're doing really good.
Well,
And Mr.
that's what keep me motivated.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love for you to end with her sayings as we end, but Mr. Safford, and let you know we welcome you. We're excited to see True Travel History Museum. Glad that you were able to be a part of us as we celebrate Juneteenth on the 13th from 2 to 8 at 1301 Pingree Street. We want everybody to come out. But I would love, Juan, for you to end with her sayings.
Yes, ma'am. So she will always tell us, if you close your eyes and repeat after me, I know me,
I know me.
I accept me,
I accept.
I love me,
I love me.
I forgive me.
I forgive
give
me.
A higher power lives within me.
a
A
high power.
power is within me.
So when she says she know you, when you say I know me, you know yourself better than anybody else, right? You know yourself better than your own mother knows yourself, right? You know what I mean? And that's something that, you know your flaws, you know what you're good at, right? You know how you perceive things, strengths, weaknesses, etc. You know yourself, right? So nobody can tell you about you, right? You know how people always have a preconceived notion about what they say about other people without
Yeah.
even knowing the person, right? You know what I'm saying? But you know who you are. And then when you say you accept who you are. Like I'm acceptive of, where I am, a lot of times we be feeling like, well, we're not where we want to be in life. And that's okay. But the thing is, you want to be able to accept yourself as who you are, not changing yourself because, that's really, valuing who you are as a person. Right.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about I forgive me. A lot of times we don't necessarily take the time out to forgive ourselves and and look at ourselves wholeheartedly. If we ever fell short, I know a lot of times sometimes I feel like may have fell short on some things and things of that nature, and so it's a thing about saying forgiving yourself, so then that way you can acknowledge the shortcoming, so then that way you can come back stronger, right? And then when you say you love me, that's just self-explanatory. You have to go ahead and love yourself. And that's
Yes.
why we have all these different people, getting all these, cosmetic surgeries and all these different things. They want the BBLs and all this other stuff, man. And it's not saying like, loving yourself, right? I always wanted to be 7 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I fell between 5'11". I'm still trying to give myself 6 feet. But the fact of the matter is, what's real is what's real, right? You know what I'm saying? I am the size I am, and I'm gonna take that, right? And just get back in the gym and work hard, right?
Hey, Devon, let me jump in real quick, man, because I got another engagement I need to run into. I just want to let your Southside City Hope know that I'm very appreciative of being a part of this. You had a intro video. Was that you on the intro video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you were doing what?
So I used to do music. So
you used to do music. And what genre was that?
So that was hip hop.
Hip hop. You know the acronym for hip hop?
Tell me.
Higher Infinite Power Healing Our People. That came from Minister Server, the spiritual advisor to hip hop. You might see some artifacts from the beginning of hip hop. You might see some of those artifacts at the exhibit Thursday. This is for your listeners. Then we talked about some of the people you mentioned. You mentioned Malcolm X.
Yes, sir.
You might see something here signed by Malcolm X if you come out.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Somebody mentioned Dr. King. We may see something signed by Dr. King if we come out. So we got people that have done phenomenal things in every facet of our contributions are interwoven into the fabric of this nation. And we're gonna celebrate that on Thursday. And I do have another engagement. We're excited to be a part of that. If anybody wants to visit us, they can see us at www.trueblackhistory.com. www.trueblackhistory.com. Ladies, it was a pleasure meeting you virtually. I look forward to meeting you in person on Thursday, and I'm gonna speak very, very briefly. I like the artifacts that we were talking.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. Dwayne, you got anything for me before we cut out?
No, I just want to thank you all for taking the time out your day just to be a part of the broadcast, and I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday, of course.
First podcast ever done. First one ever done.
With more to come.
Really?
More
to come. Next time we gotta bring them out to Flint, so then that way we can take them out to eat. We can do the podcast. And
man, I told you I'm not a stranger to Flint. Now I'm not a stranger to Flint. I lived in Flint. I lived in Flint for a couple of years. I trained over at Burston Field House under Mr. Felder.
Come on now.
I used to box at Burston Field House for a little bit. I'm not gonna say I was a champion. I'm not gonna say I was no champ over there, but I've been in the ring over there.
Well, if you've been in the ring, then you know what, that's a big contribution. Then you're a real Flintstone.
I got much love for Flint, the resilience of the people there. I mean, we were there during the Flint water crisis. I mean, we were there marching. You mentioned the Omegas. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi. We came out deep to support. So I'm always a supporter of the things that you're doing in Flint. Pastor Kim Yarber brings in his church on a regular basis. Comma bookstore, we've been there, so I'm not a stranger to Flint, man. We right up the road. So let's do it Thursday. Pleasure meeting everybody.
You too.
Let's do it Thursday, and we'll see you all. Please join us this Thursday from 2 to 8 at the Brennan Senior Center. We'll be there. We'll be seeing the African artifacts from Brother Fred. We'll be here. Also, Mama Soul be in the mix, be in the house. Then of course our Southside City of Hope Queens, they'll be in the mix, getting to it, showcasing all that entails.
We got a couple kings too.
Say it again.
That we have a couple kings too.
Got a couple kings too. Now they well versed. So come on out and join us for a special occasion at the Brennan Senior Center on Thursday, June 13th. I am excited, looking forward. I'm gonna bring the youth out. So we just gonna get to it. It's an all-day affair. Bring the family out, right? Learn something and be a part of the traditional Flint Juneteenth.
Thanks, DeJuan.
Yeah, thank you, DeJuan. Thank you for having me on
my
the
first podcast too, by the way, Mr. Safford. How about yourself?
Yeah, next time we're gonna be in the studio, so we're gonna double back. We'll do it.
Hey, we pulled it off. We pulled it off.
Yeah.
when there's a will, there's a way. My people can do anything.
Yeah,
man. Look, that's inspiration. I'm ready to get to it. I'm ready to go work all month of July now.
Hey, we all multitasking, but we did it. It's done. It's in the history book.
That's right.
Thank you, and I greatly appreciate everybody for making the time. And you know, and I know you got busy schedules, so we're gonna shut this one down for Fli-City Blackout, Flint Juneteenth, Hope Renewed Juneteenth celebration. We will be out there at the Brennan Senior Center this Thursday at 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. So look to see you all there.
All right. Thank you, DeJuan. Thank you so much, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you. And I'll send this link out to you all so you can share with family and friends.
Okay.
Right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay. All right. Have a blessed.